Hello, guys, and welcome to Fantasy Booking Friday. I'm Jaychele, your co-host, and we're also here with Carisa, our other co-host. Say what's up, Carisa.
Hi, everybody.
I volleyball that to you every single time we do the show. It's always the same introduction. But we also have a super special guest. We have Haley. We're so excited to be on here with you. Big supporter.
I'm so happy to be here.
Yes.
I love the show. So.
Oh my God, thank you. We have somebody who actually likes the show. I feel like I do a lot of this content, and people say that they like it, but in reality, I feel like I just goof off the whole show. So I'm glad that I'm actually producing some noteworthy content. But we do have our normal structure today. We're going to try to stay on task. We've been struggling the past couple of shows, trying to get right back on that train. We are pre-recording this. Today is December 11th, and this will be coming out as a part of our holiday break episode. So you guys will likely see this on January 5th, I believe is the date that this will come out. So Happy New Year. Hope you enjoyed day one. If possible, 2022. Hope you have a great year. Set some goals for yourself. I got my goals sheet thing in the background, my new goal chart. But we are going to talk about something that may or may not have already concluded by the time that this show comes out. So I believe it's the first episode of Dynamite on TBS that we will see the new TBS champion get crowned. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we're going to be actually booking the first, second, and third TBS champion. So just to preface this, at the time of recording, we have the two semifinal matches set up. We have Nyla Rose versus Ruby Soho, and then we also have Jade Cargill versus Thunder Rosa. Neither of those matches have taken place, so we are booking. I guess you could book from there, from the end of the tournament. It's all up to you. That's where we are at right now. So just be aware that we are recording this early, so we apologize, but we have to get the content up anyway. So do any of you guys want to go first in answering who we think will be the first, second, and third TBS champion? I could do it.
I can go first.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
So I really want Jade to win, but I definitely think that Thunder Rosa is going to win. But I'm also not mad about that. I think she has a lot of momentum right now. And I think that if she does pin Jade and give her first loss, I think that would definitely set up for like a rematch in the future and a potential title run for Jade. So that's who I think is going to be first.
I think that makes a lot of sense. I actually had my first as Jade. I feel like they're going to have Jade clean sweep this tournament. I don't see them pinning her right now. I would love for her to not beat Thunder Rosa. Just because of the way that they're building Rosa to the title, and I don't want her to take a pin and then go for the world. But I mean, it is what it is. I still want to see both of them succeed, obviously. So I'm excited to see how this turns out. I feel like there actually is a lot of mystery around. Are they actually going to go with Jade, or are they going to kind of swerve us? Because I feel like a conclusion you could jump to is Jade, and then just be like, but maybe like there's Ruby and there's Rosa, so like how does this actually turn up? So I had Jade as my first one as well. But if it is Jade, the thing that I am struggling with is how do you eventually get that belt off of her? Because you're putting the belt on her so you don't have to pin her. But eventually, in order to get that belt off of her, you need to pin her or submit her somehow. So I don't know how we get out of that situation, but I did have Jade as my first one. Carisa, what did you think?
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to agree with you, Jaychele. I actually did have Jade, become the inaugural champion because I honestly see Thunder Rosa, winning the main title off of Britt at Revolution or Double or Nothing, because I know that's the next feud we're setting up for that major title. But for like TV title, I see Jade being the first champion, and after that, I want to see Ruby Soho actually become the second champion.
I have the same one as you. We literally thought the same thing. Oh my God. I think it's so obvious that that title is perfectly fit for Ruby. She's such like a workhorse worker that is meant to be the workhorse belt. Every time that I've talked about the TBS title / the TNT title, I'm always imagining those to be the workhorse belts, the belts that are defended like once a week or so, like around that amount of time. They're putting in the TV matches. They're putting in consistently good work. And not to say that Jade can't do that. I just think that she is more fit for something like the world title, where you have a match once every 3 weeks or so, where you're able to be stretched out more. It's more of performing versus of the work in the match, if that makes sense. Not to devalue the women's title. I just think that a lot of what Britt is, it's her character versus her in-ring skill, and that works to her advantage because it is the world title. You wouldn't put Britt, especially right now, at like a TNT title level, right? So I'm just trying to imagine that from the same playing field from Jade, because I feel like Jade is also a star, but she might not be there in the ring yet, obviously. Like, she's great, giving her credit, but like still she does have far to go, obviously. So I did have Ruby for my next one. For my third one, though, I did have Chris Statlander, because I love Chris Statlander, one. Two, there's obviously that natural story between Ruby and Chris, because Ruby beat Chris, and then Chris can beat Ruby, and they're still friends and all of that stuff. And Chris is also a worker's worker. She's a workhorse in the ring as well. She can do those TNT title TBS title matches as much as she needs to. She consistently puts on great matches no matter who she's with. She even had that great match with Britt Baker at All Out. So that she definitely proved that she can work. But even though Ruby does work better with people who are a little bit bigger than her, Chris is a little bit bigger than her, so it might work out well, like we saw in this past match. They have great chemistry, obviously, like they're friends and everything like that. One thing I forgot to mention, I'm just looking at my notes now, is I do want Mark Sterling to kind of step away from Jade. I don't feel like he is completely fulfilling the potential of Jade's presentation. Maybe if you give her somebody, this might just be me, but like if you give her somebody that matches her stage presence, because she's very like strong, outgoing, she has a very strong presence, and Mark doesn't really have that. He's like a coward. Like, I mean, he can talk kind of, but he's not as like defensive and powerful as Jade is, so it doesn't work for him to be the manager. I mean, I get that he's smart, but like I would rather Jade have a manager with charisma. Sorry, that was a circle back, but I just wanted to go through my notes really quickly with that. So Carissa, who did you have for your third?
Honestly, I kind of wanted to go off like a heel babyface, heel champion pattern, because we've seen that with the world title. So I think after Ruby, I kind of want to see Allie be the next champion.
Bunny?
Yeah, because she's been underutilized for so long. Like, if you see her work and Impact, she was really like, her character was like there, and her in-ring, style was like amazing. So I think, having her as the champion after Ruby would help her elevate that TV title division.
I think my thing with the Bunny is I don't think this is her fault, but I don't know if AEW did a good enough job of explaining why she's crazy, or like it just seems like she's crazy on TV. Like, I get that's her character, but I want to know how we got to having Crazy Allie. Like, give her like a backstory or something like that. So I mean, I obviously like can connect with her character and I can boo her and all of that stuff. I just want something a little bit deeper that I can like sink my teeth into with Allie, because it seems like when we had like AJ Lee, right? Like, she was a crazy character. She wasn't like, I don't know even how you would describe Allie's like crazy character, but you could see that like she started off as boy crazy, and then she just eventually ended up just being like mental. Like, and that was who she was. And there was like an evolution from like, you treat me like this, you make me crazy, insane. And that's what we got with AJ. So I wanted to see like a little bit of a progression with Allie, or with the Bunny, to see how we end up with her as the crazy version she is now. But maybe that's just me. I don't know.
Because I think, when she was in Impact, she was, she still had that character. Like, she was the Bunny as well. So that from Impact led on to AEW, but they didn't, show, that kind of like side of her yet on AEW.
Yeah, like they just say she's crazy. Like, she doesn't string, like, when you look at her, like, if you weren't hearing that she's crazy, like, you wouldn't automatically assume that she's crazy. She bites the screen, and that's cool, but like, why is she crazy? So it just leaves you assuming that she's crazy because she's crazy. I think in the women's division, there's like a couple of like holes within characters that they have not yet taken the time to work on. Like the thing with Jade and Mark Sterling, like I said earlier, like Ty Conti and Anna Jay are a great tag team, but like how did they even become best friends really? Like why is Ty in the Dark Order or not? Like there's like some things that you need to like wrap up so we can like get on our way with the actual feuds and stuff like that. So Haley, who did you have for your third?
I actually had Ruby, but now that you said Chris, I actually agree. And I'm going to switch mine around and also say Chris.
Okay.
For the exact reasons, I think that they have great chemistry in the ring. I think that their match together was really good and was kind of like a start of a storyline. So
yeah, I eventually think you have to put a title on Chris. Like she's too good to not have a title like within the next 3 years or so. Like I don't know how long you string out your first 3, and I bet Tony probably does have his first 3 champions already in mind. But I just think that we eventually need to see Chris with the belt. I would like to see her with the world title eventually too, but I feel like she has to get the TBS belt first. I feel like it makes sense for some of these people to get one belt and then get another belt. But like Jade, I could have just saw her going straight for the world title. I mean, that lineage, she's probably a little bit further down the line because I was thinking the lineage was Thunder Rosa, Ty Conti, Jade Cargill, maybe Anna Jay or something like that from there, or even Ruby Soho, Chris. Like you can fill in any of those people there, but we can only get there if we actually continue to build the women's division over there. That includes having a feud. I mean, obviously it's great that we have the TBS title belt now, but I want to see 2 matches on Dynamite at least. You have 2 hours. Give me a match an hour, and then you can do the 1 hour match. I mean, the 1 match on 1 hour. Wow. 1 match on 1 hour Rampage. That was a mouthful. But yeah, I feel like you need to have another feud within the division that is building, that is not a TBS title feud or a world title feud. And that's how you'll be able to prepare people for the TBS title. Because I wonder if they're also going to do like the open challenge format for the TBS belt also, because then they can start to bring in people like Athena, Taya Valkyrie if they want to do that. Like they'll have some more flexibility within the women's division to do that open door kind of thing that they wanted to do with Deanna, that Deanna wanted to do. You can bring in Deanna through that and then have her do a feud Brit if you really want to, because she doesn't have a title now. You can bring in Mickie James. You can bring in people from Impact and do whatever you want with them. So the ideas are endless for the TBS title. I think they were, I guess a lot of people didn't agree with the idea to do the TBS title over the tag team titles. But I don't feel like they have a strong enough women's tag division right now to try to do women's tag titles. And I would much prefer a secondary title that can help build somebody before they go for the other title. And if it's Jade's belt, it's Jade's belt. She's gonna work it regardless. I hope they figure out that win-loss streak and how they get that belt off of Jade eventually. Because I don't know how they're gonna do that. But do you guys have any other thoughts or ideas on the TBS title stuff before we move on? No? Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to rebook a pretty current event. This past Sunday, we're recording this on the day that Final Battle is happening for reference. We had the NXT WarGames 2021 pay-per-view show. And I was like, okay, this card is pretty decent, but I feel like we could be doing more. So a lot of what I switched was actually within the middle of the card. I kind of left some of the War Games matches the same and tweaked them just a tiny bit. But in the middle of the show, we had Imperium versus Von Wagner and Kyle O'Reilly. We had Cameron Grimes versus Duke Hudson in a hair versus hair match. And we had Roderick Strong versus Joe Gacy for the Cruiserweight Championship. And Joe Gacy is not under 205 pounds, which was said to be the weight limit for the Cruiserweight Championship, which I guess is now not the weight limit anymore. 205 Live is getting changed. So we can address that when we get to rebooking that part of the show, but I think we can go like match by match and rebook that. Is that okay with you guys? Did you guys do completely different matches, or did you just tweak some of the matches?
I tweaked little things too.
Okay. So for my first match, I did the women's War Games match. I tried to go in the exact same order of the actual show. I only really switched here 2 members of the match. So I took out Dakota Kai and I took out Raquel Gonzalez. So I made it Toxic Attraction and Elektra Lopez because I feel like she fits their look and ambience a little bit more than Dakota Kai did, versus Io Shirai, Cora Jade, Kaylee Ray, and Indy Hartwell. I really wanted to see Indy in WarGames because she didn't even get to be in WarGames last year. She had like the neck thing and the crutch and everything. So I wanted to see her in a WarGames match. And I feel like she'll probably get it next year. If she's still in NXT by that time, I don't know. Maybe she gets a call up. I hope she does get a call up. She's really good. But I would have loved to see her in this match. And I feel like she would have worked more with the babyface side than Raquel did even. I don't fully buy Raquel as a babyface. Maybe that's just me because I'm skeptical about Raquel's abilities and belief. But not to be political, just but after that, I really think that you could do something more with Elektra Lopez. She hasn't really been consistently having matches like I would have wanted her to. She's like pretty decent in the ring. So I think if you would have built her up a little bit more, she would have been able to have this match. And I think you could do like at New Year's Evil, you could do the Dakota Kai versus Raquel Gonzalez, no DQ, whatever you want to do. Like, however, like maybe even a steel cage match, like a real match that will blow off their feud. I feel like that's what we're working towards. I just don't think we needed to have them in the WarGames match as well. I feel like it kind of messed up the way that I wanted the WarGames match to be built, I guess. Because, like, I don't know how Dakota Kai really meshed with Toxic Attraction. I don't feel like it was the perfect fit that I would have wanted for a WarGames team. Not to say that the other side was either, but, like, you have 3 faction members and you're just adding a person in to be in the match, and I don't really enjoy that too much. I feel like Elektra is more of like a Toxic Attraction member than Dakota Kai would be. So that was who I had for my women's WarGame match. Haley, who did you have in yours?
So I wanted to keep everything the same, but I changed the ending of the match because similar to what you said, I think that if you have 3 champs on a team and they're really strong people, I think they're building Mandy. She's a very strong character. She's, really come in to herself at NXT. I think that I would have preferred them winning. I don't know how they would specifically do it, but I had that Dakota would pin Raquel. And again, that would, set off their feud down the line. They could do that whenever, but that's kind of what I had.
I like that. I didn't even think about changing the ending. I honestly don't like Toxic Attraction. I just don't think they're meant for me. I'm not the target audience for Toxic Attraction. I understand that. And that's completely fine. If you want to attract 2 teenage boys, go right ahead. That's not my business. But I do like that idea of having Toxic Attraction win. I thought that was actually how the match was going to go, and I got surprised when Cora Jade got the win, but I love Cora Jade, so I'm happy that they gave her that piece in the match. And she's so young, so if they actually do want to invest in young stars, that's exactly how you would do it. Carisa, what were you thinking for the women's WarGames match?
Yeah, so kind of like what Haley said, I honestly did want to keep, how like the teams were. So I did want Toxic Attraction to actually win because, Mandy, Gigi, and JC have been they've been working well together as a team. And I think, with how they've evolved so far, I had a feeling myself that they were going to win. I just didn't have like an ending come to mind just yet, but I kind of wanted to see Mandy pin Cora.
Yeah, Cora. I mean, Mandy's about to pin Cora when they have their championship anyway. So that's why I was trying to avoid having that because I feel like Cora Jade is not going to be the new women's champion. She got the surprise pin on Mandy, and that should tell you everything you need to know because we do 50-50 booking in WWE. So she's not getting that title belt. But moving on to another title, we have the tag team match, which was the Imperium versus Kyle O'Reilly and Von Wagner. And at the end, we had Von Wagner attempt to turn on Kyle, but Kyle already knew it was going to happen, so he turned on Von, I guess, and he did the suck it and the UE, which was my signal that he was leaving the company. So for this match, I actually had just the outcome of the contenders match switched. I don't want Kyle O'Reilly with Von Wagner. We're scratching that. I'm erasing that, getting rid of that. That never happened. We'll see Kyle O'Reilly later tonight in Live Card. But I had Imperium facing Legado del Fantasma. Obviously, you can't put Santos Escobar in the match, but I still think that the match would have been really good. The Imperium match on this card was really good. Fabian Eicher showed out. He's always been good, but he had a great showing in that match. And I feel like all the boys of Legado del Fantasma can go. So it would have been nice to see them in that match. I just wanted to get Kyle O'Reilly and Von Wagner out of here. You can let Von do his own thing. I mean, if you really wanted to do it, you could have put him in the WarGames match. I didn't do it, but you could have put him on NXT 2.0 side instead of having it be with Kyle. Haley, what did you have in mind for this tag match?
So this is going to be an unpopular opinion. I actually didn't mind the match at all, so I didn't change anything about it.
That's fine.
Like, I thought it was okay. I mean, it was a decent match. I think, Kyle's great at selling. I just thought it had a action or a good amount of action, so I didn't change anything. I actually didn't mind the match.
I like the actual match itself was good. I agree. Like the match was decent. Right. There you go. That's it. How the hell are Vaughn and Kyle friends?
Where is the back? Like,
they went to go chop wood and drink beers. That's what I remember. Isn't that Brooks and Jensen? Isn't that the thing that they were doing? Or is it Briggs and Brooks and I give up. Carissa, what did you have in mind?
Honestly, I didn't want to see Kyle and Von Wagner in this match. I kind of wanted to see Imperium versus GYV.
Oh my god! How did I forget? I got GYV in my
GYV came to NXT in the US about a year or two ago. They've had multiple attempts in trying to gain those NXT tag titles, and they haven't succeeded. I honestly wanted to see GYV and Imperium, but have GYV pin.
Thank you.
And get those titles. Yep. Because they've been overlooked ever since they came to the US.
I want them to have a new gimmick, though. I don't want them doing the Cash App scams. I don't. Let them be GYV. They're perfect as they are. They got the great promos and everything. They don't need to be scamming people out of money for food. That was crazy. But for our next match, we did have the hair versus hair match. And that was Cameron Grimes versus Duke Hudson. And I don't know how we got to hair versus hair in this match. But I did leave majority of it. I just took out the hair versus hair stip, and I added Kushida into this match. Just because I want to see Kushida face people that's not a part of Jacket Time. Is Jacket Time even a thing anymore? Because now we saw a vignette of Ikemenjiro taking a shit during WarGames. I don't know what that was, but I would just add Kushida in here because I feel like all of these people are like pretty strong workers, and Kushida would just take it to another level. So I just add him into this match because why the hell not? I mean, Kushida's always great. So I just put him in here, and we took away the hair stip, and we all have a good time. So, Haley, what did you have in mind for this one?
I also didn't understand the whole hair versus hair thing, but, I just went with it. Whatever. But I crave violence, and I was like, you know what? I would change the outcome of this match. I know we're fantasy booking, like, this is just me, but, like, I would have loved to see Cameron lose just to see his hair get shaved. That's literally the only reason. But I love Cameron, and I think he's great, and I think he's a great asset to NXT, but I just crave violence, and that's what I wanted to see, so.
I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, I think the outcomes of that match would have been like up in the air. Like, I don't know how. I really want to know who thought hair versus hair was a good idea. I know it wasn't Shawn Michaels. It for sure wasn't Shawn Michaels. So who
we
thought
know. We know.
Carissa, what were you thinking for this match?
Okay, so I did want to change the outcome. So I agree. I wanted to see Cameron lose to Drew Hudson and then him just go completely bald.
Yeah, I wanted more shock. Like, if you're gonna do a hair versus hair match, like, give me shock. Like, give me something.
I need to know where are we going from here with this? Because what the hell?
Right.
Like, I don't even. Is Andre Chase going to get involved? I feel like that's where we're ending up. It's with Andre Chase as a part of this feud. Because they all look the same, you know? Like, they all, like, Duke Hudson and Andre Chase could be the same person if I close my eyes just a little bit. Like, same person.
The square.
Yes. My next match was the Roderick Strong versus Joe Gacy Cruiserweight-ish championship. So I was like, we're not going to do Joe Gacy here because I'm not going to deal with that. So I just put a bunch of people that I like together. And I was like, where the hell is Timothy Thatcher? So we put him in this match because I don't know if he's actually injured or not. But I put him in this match anyway because he's probably under 205 or so. He's probably close enough. You can like get away with saying Timothy Thatcher is under 205. You know what I mean? And I put LA Knight in here. He's probably like 235. But like, I would have moved him from the WarGames match into here. I don't feel like he's completely old NXT. I feel like he's like the border of NXT and NXT 2.0. So just put him in this match. You can make it for the Cruiserweight Championship or not. I don't really care. Just give me this match. Let them all have fun and fight each other. It would be a great match. Roddy with the backbreakers, Timothy with the arms. I don't know when I start to become a commentator, but that's now what's happening, I guess. So I got the sound effects in there. And I want to hear LA Knight go to Roderick Strong. Dummy, yeah. I need it. I love it. Yeah. Anytime he says yeah, I got to say right back. Haley, what did you have in mind for this match? I'm sorry.
I love it. So just yeah. Honestly, I didn't know. Like, I'm very conflicted about this match just because of how I feel about the Cruiserweight Championship in general. But I have to agree with LA Knight. I would have liked to see that.
Yeah.
I really would.
I love me some LA Knight, but you gotta get that man to the main roster sooner than later because I don't know what he is doing down here at this point. Oh my god! But I also don't like Joe Gacy's character too much right now, or at least what it was. It feels like it's beginning to shift away from that, and they're kind of shifting into cult leader. So if we can stick with that and get away from the diversity and inclusion stuff, because I will have to knock you out, Vince, if you tell me that diversity is heel. What? You racist. Okay. Sorry, I'm never getting a job at WWE if I keep talking like this. Carissa, what do you got?
So I wanted Joe Gacy in this match, but I don't like his character that he has right now. Like, his character he had before, I think it was in a breakout tournament. I think when he debuted, he was a complete heel. Like, he was all, crazy and stuff. So I want to see that version of Joe Gacy.
I just want to say, do I have it over here? Of course
but
I do.
I think the Cruiserweight title, I think they're changing it to open weight title. Like how New Japan has their open weight championship and like their trios open weight championships. So I think it's open weight now. I'm not exactly sure, but I think that's the direction that they're going with that title. And with 205, I don't know the name that they're going to change.
I don't make it like a main event thing. Like, that's what it is, basically. Something like that. So,
But I didn't want to see LA Knight in this match because I really enjoyed him in the WarGames cage match because he actually was with WWE back in 2012. He was in FCW. Like, if you watch the documentary on a network,
he was in the Sasha clip. He was part of the boss crew. Yeah, I remember that.
And he had a few runs in NXT, like that NXT, and then I think he got released and then did like Impacts and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's where it came. Yeah, dummy. Yeah.
Yeah, but like he's of the original NXT, so I liked him.
You see how Carisa said yeah without even noticing she said yeah?
I
So
It was perfect.
yeah. I just wanted to say that we will eventually see Timothy Thatcher going after this. Because I don't think he's there for long. And please just if we can't have Pete Dunne in AEW, give me Timothy Thatcher in AEW. Just like let him come and just like try to fight Bobby Fish and I'll be happy. You know what I mean? But next we had the last match of this card, which was the WarGames match. So the original WarGames match included, I'm gonna make my brain work here, Johnny Gargano, LA Knight, Pete Dunne, and Tommaso Ciampa, who is the current NXT champion. And then the NXT 2.0 side was Braun Breaker. I almost had the person who I had here, Grayson Waller, Carmelo Hayes, my husband, the North American champion, and we had Tony D'Angelo in this match. I switched out LA Knight, and I put Kyle O'Reilly in here for the regular NXT side. You keep with the trend of having at least one person from Undisputed Era in until none of them are there anymore. I think you should do it. And then, of course, it's Kyle O'Reilly. Like, you got to put him in the WarGames match. He is WarGames. And then on the other side of NXT 2.0, I switched out Grayson Waller. I don't like him too much. Maybe that's just me, but I heard some stuff about
I switched him too.
Okay, good. And I put in Odyssey Jones because why the hell not? Put him in the match.
Yes.
Put him off the pre-show, put him in the match. He would have been great. I feel like they need to push him a little bit stronger. They forget what they have in him sometimes. I can guess why they forget what they have in him, but not going to get into that. Carmelo Hayes was in this match, and a lot of my issues with the whole card was that there was literally like one black person on the show, and I was just struggling. So if you could at least give me another one, Odyssey Jones. I mean, he's a star, and he's right there for you. Would have been a great for this match. I didn't take out Tony D because I knew the internet would come after me. So the Gabagool remains in the match. Gabagool in the games. They should have did it. Gabagool games. They should have called it Gabagool games.
Missed opportunity, WWE. What the hell?
Another missed opportunity. NWA Hard Times 2. How did you not get Paramore's Hard Times for the show? Sorry, I needed to say it on the podcast. I put it out in a tweet. How do you miss an opportunity? Every time I saw WarGames 2, I thought of the Hard Times song, but okay. I'm sorry. I got real excited. I get excited about Odyssey Jones. Haley, what did you have in mind for this match?
I actually agree about putting Kyle in the match. I agree about UE. You know, was yikes. The last standing. Well, no, because
Roddy's still there. Roddy probably
yeah
too, but he wasn't in the match either.
Which I can fight anyways. So I did switch Grayson Waller because I also don't like him. I don't need to get into that. But I switched him with Trick Williams just because
I like that.
I thought it would be interesting.
I mean, Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams are some of the best parts of NXT right now.
Yep.
Also, just an idea for a spot. Roderick Strong, if you're watching and you haven't done the spot before, can you do a backbreaker through the table with your knee under the table? So when they go through the table, they land on your knee too. I don't know if you've done that before. You may have. It may not even be possible, but I'm just giving you an idea. If you can make it work, I would love to see it. You ain't got to credit me or nothing. I'll know you heard this, and I'll see that you did it, and we'll have that special connection. Roddy, your wife is amazing too. Carissa, what did you have in mind for this match? I'm losing it. I'm hilarious.
So for Team Black and Gold, I was fine with the members that were in it. I didn't mind LA Knight, Ciampa, Johnny, and Pete Dunne. I think they're all amazing individually, but together they're just unstoppable in a way. But for Team 2.0, I did take out Grayson Waller. And I wanted.
We all agree, just across.
But I wanted Zion Quinn to be in that match.
That's a good shout too. Yep, he works also.
Zion Quinn is amazing. Like
I think you're gonna say he's fine, and I was like, that too.
When like I saw his debut, I was like, that man can work, honestly. And you know,
did you remember that bot she had where he just turned it into like a knee thing, where he was like trying to pick somebody up, and I was like, what the hell? One thing I did want to mention was I was expecting, this would switch up my whole card. I was expecting Tommaso Ciampa to have an NXT title match here. And I would have put Carmelo Hayes against him and let Carmelo Hayes become the double champion. Maybe that's my Carmelo Hayes bias. I just feel like he deserves to be NXT champion. But I was expecting Ciampa to have a match here. I think it's kind of weird that they didn't do it. But I mean, it makes sense at the same time. I just wish he would have had one as an individual. But they probably did want Johnny and Tommaso to have their match together before Johnny was able to leave. But transitioning to the next half of the show where we always book our own promotion. Since we just talked a little bit about NXT TakeOver, I put it up for grabs to book the best possible NXT TakeOver card. So I said any era, if they've even stepped foot in NXT, they count. If they've been in there for 1 minute or 20 months, doesn't matter. So I had said either 8 to 10 matches. I have 9 here. So I did 3 women's matches and 6 men's matches because I believe if you have 1 hour, there should be at least one women's match. So that's just how I went about it. So Carisa, do you want to share what you had first for your first match?
I'll let you go first.
Okay. I had Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus DIY versus The Revival. Because why the hell not? You just put them all in a match and you just let them work and they're going to go for it. I feel like that could have been like a match of the year contender. So I just was like, just put them together because Sami and Owens obviously may or may not be leaving the company soon. And then if you look at this match, who would likely be the only person left in the company? Tommaso Ciampa. Out of 6 people, Tommaso Ciampa would be the only one left in the company. And that's just insane. But that was what I had for my first match. Haley, what did you have for yours?
Mine is about as crazy as I am.
Okay.
But I was like, you know what? Fantasy booking.
Yep.
I'm just going to go all out. Okay, listen. So they teased it earlier this year. I know it's never going to happen, and it's really never going to happen now. But I would put Adam Cole, baby, against Shawn Michaels just because I want to see that match. I think that would be amazing. It would be a great rub for Cole. Obviously, that can't happen now, but
I was not expecting that at all.
I was like, you know what? Fantasy booking, I'm going all out, straight out of the gate. Like,
I should have booked Triple H in a match then. Oh my god,
that would be yes,
yeah.
But that's what I put.
That's great. Carisa, what did you have?
So I also wanted to do a multi tag team match. I wanted to do GYV versus DIY versus Imperium versus Mustache Mountain.
Oh my god, I'm gonna get to Mustache Mountain later. You read my mind. The current NXT UK Tag Team Champions, they just had their crowning moment on Thursday.
And they're the only tag team to win both NXT and NXT UK Tag Team Championships.
Carisa coming out with the facts and the stats.
I actually tweeted that out yesterday when I saw that they won.
My next match is a women's match. Just for the hell of it. Just because why not put them all in a frying pan and let them work? Io Shirai versus Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair versus Bayley. Put it in Brooklyn or something. I don't care. Just do it for the memories. And Sasha and Bayley can have their little callback spots. Bianca and Sasha can have their callback spots. Io and Sasha can have their callback spots even too. So you just got to let them work. I feel like they would all have super great chemistry. So that was my second match, was a women's match. Haley, do you have a women's match that you can shout out?
I do. I have multiple women's matches because why not?
Right.
I actually did Lash Legend and Io Shirai. I think that would be an incredible match.
I have not yet seen Lash Legend's debut. I am
It
going
was
to
amazing.
Okay.
She did so good.
Somebody edited her theme music and put Eva Marie's Boss Bitch, I'm a boss bitch, like theme music over it. And I was like, why is that not her theme music? It fit her so much more than what she did have.
Yeah.
But I love Lash Legend's character and everything. Carissa, what did you have for your second? Can you do a women's match too?
Yeah, I did have a women's match. I wanted to see Cora Jade versus Bayley.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
Yes, ma'am.
No, I need that.
I mean, there's a picture surfaced around social media of a meet and greet that Cora Jade went as a teenager. I think back in like 2015, 2016 or something around that.
Cora Jade is literally 20, so that's
amazing. Yeah, she's a year older than me. That's crazy.
She's 3 years older than me. That's crazy too.
And I'm a year older than her.
This is the young show now. Yesterday, we had some people who were scared by our age. Got their feelings hurt when I said my age. So now we got the young people on the show today. I feel like we can see that match eventually. When Cora Jade gets to the main roster, I feel like we're gonna have to get that at some point. Even if it's on like a Raw or SmackDown or something, we'll get it. My next match, I mean, you could make this for the Cruiserweight Championship if you really wanted to. I have Roderick Strong facing Finn Balor. My excitement. I don't know if Finn Balor is under the 205 limit. All I know is he always has bangers. Okay. He always has bangers when he's in NXT. Roderick Strong is the guy to have bangers with if you want to have one. I feel like they would just cook up some magic together. So that was who I had for my next match. Haley?
I'm going to go with this one next. I'm all about big meaty men. So I was like, I'm going to book a triple threat with big meaty men.
I think I can tell where this is going.
So I did Samoa Joe, Jonah or Bronson, and Odyssey Jones.
Oh,
I'm just gonna throw everything at this match. I think that it could work, and obviously because it wouldn't be like a fast-paced match, I think that it would be more hard-hitting, and I'm always for that. So I love a good fight.
I want to know where Samoa Joe is.
Where is Joe?
I just want, well, I mean, it's the CWC, so it's not going to happen. But I just want the crowd to break out in Joe chants, because where the hell is he?
Miss him.
Thank you. Carissa, what did you have?
So I want to see Walter versus Roman Reigns.
Ooh.
We'll get that soon. That's coming. That's coming in like the next year. Yeah, if Walter actually does make that jump, we're going to see that real soon. And that match is going to bang. Okay. Oh, Jesus. My next match, I have what I think would be a banger. This person is no longer in this incarnation of who they were. But I have Adrian Neville in this match facing Ricochet.
Oh, that's a good match. That is a banger for sure.
Do all the flips and tricks and spot fests, and
I love flippy dippy things.
I do too. I mean, and Adrian Neville too, like that version of him, not like Pac, love Pac, but like early Adrian Neville versus Ricochet in NXT is crazy. Haley, what did you have?
Let's see. Let's look at my list. I'm gonna go with this. Okay, so I booked Carmelo Hayes versus Roderick Strong. I booked it in like a title unification match.
Okay.
Because fantasy booking. So I have my thoughts about the Cruiserweight Championship, but I think that champ versus champ would be good. And they're kind of teasing that, so I wouldn't mind it. I would love it. So.
Carmelo Hayes in any match is a win for me.
Correct.
Carissa?
All right, so for this next one, so this person is no longer with WWE. He is a new character in AEW. So, Aleister Black versus...
Don't you take my match. Don't you take my match. Go for it. But don't you... Okay. Didn't take my match. Okay.
If you watch NXT UK, you see what A-Kid has done. He's competed against a lot of, veterans in NXT UK. And when I first saw him, I was like, he's like a younger version of like, I'm trying to figure out, like a Seth Rollins kind of like guy. So I'm like, that man, if you bring him to the States and have him compete against Aleister Black, they're both European, basically. So it's like European wrestling at its finest.
Funny enough, my next match includes Seth Rollins. And it also includes somebody who recently just called him out. And I know because I have my post notifications on. Carmelo Hayes. Seth Rollins versus Carmelo Hayes in NXT TakeOver. Let it be an NXT style match, not a main roster style match. And they will have 15, 20 minutes to create some heat. So I love both those guys. They're both probably on my favorite wrestlers list. So that's what I had.
So because I was saying some very outlandish things, I decided to kind of bring myself back down to earth and reality. So I booked Tommaso Ciampa versus Braun Breaker because I think that Braun Breaker is going to take the title off of him. But if not Braun, I wouldn't mind Tommaso versus Von Wagner. Maybe not for the title, but
not for the title.
In a match. Not for the title. Just a match.
I'm still confused how Vaughn showed up on SmackDown, said nothing, didn't get acknowledged until he went back to NXT, and then we just stopped talking about it because he's not on the show anymore. He's not on SmackDown anymore. Why was he
that
there?
company do half the things that they do?
I'm just still so confused.
Yes.
Carissa?
Never any clarity ever.
Oh, yeah. We don't get no explanations. It just happens, and you say thank you. Carissa?
So for this one, this is a women's match, and this is a match everybody's been wanting for so long. Mako Satomora versus Sasha Banks.
Yeah, that's a perfect place on an NXT card. That's definitely an NXT match. I
mean, Mako's in Orlando right now, so maybe she appears in a Royal Rumble or maybe an NXT TV show. Who knows?
Yeah, I can do my women's match next. I had Candace LeRae, who was currently pregnant, so we might need to record this a little bit after her pregnancy. But I had her facing Asuka. Just because why not? They both super workers. They would do everything to put on a great match. And I don't know if they've faced each other before or not. But I still want to see it. So that's what was my next match, was for my women's match.
Yeah. And I miss Asuka. I really do.
Yeah. Asuka's injured right now too. She has an arm shoulder brace thing, a sling. So once again, after her injury is complete. So
I did 6 matches, but I did another women's match, and because Cora versus Mandy is going to happen eventually, but I put Cora and Mandy and Bayley. I thought that it would be interesting. Keep Mandy as you got Cora, you got Bayley.
Yeah, you both have the Cora Bayley idea. I don't know how I didn't get that. Oh my god, that's smart.
They're very similar. I love them both.
Yeah. Carissa, do you have another match?
Yeah. So, let's see. Ilya Dragunov versus Ricochet.
That sounds like murder. Or the new name of Hook's finisher, his submission move, Red Rum, which is murder spelled backwards, and I love it. Sorry, I watched Hook's debut, and Hook is the best wrestler alive.
We love Hook.
If I could book Hook in this card, Hook's beating everybody. Hook is the new NXT champ. Hook dethrones Roman Reigns. End of story. Fight me on it. I'll post it on Twitter too.
Roman Reigns fears Hook.
Clearly, he runs from Hook. Everybody runs from Hook. Did you see Hook's theme song?
Action Bronson, it's so good.
If Roman heard Hook's theme song, he would start to cry. Hook can make a grown man cry. He made me cry. I sat there like this. I was supposed to be writing an article. I'm staring at my computer. Okay, there's your Hook content. I'm gonna try. Maybe by the time that this show is out, I did a special show with Cass about Hook. I'm trying to convince him to let me do a show all about Hook. At least one episode. I feel like it's great content and people would tune in for it.
Yes, all the hookers would. Yes.
Yes, exactly. I honestly am so confused about the hooker's name. I don't know why I have to use that name. Okay. Kaylee, was that your last match?
Yeah, I did 6.
Did I share my match? No? I don't think I did.
We went on a Hook tangent.
Okay, yep. Right. I'll share a women's match for my next match. I have 3 more still, so I don't know how many you have left, Carissa, but I could just keep going if you need me to. But I have Kaylie Ray versus Dakota Kai, which is a match we saw recently. Mm-hmm. But I threw Charlotte in here. I know Charlotte gets a lot of hate. She's still a great worker, and I love Charlotte, so I put her in the match against a bunch of other great workers who would try to show out as well. So I'm all for the Kaylie Ray train. I love her. I hope she becomes women's champion. I wouldn't be mad if she was the one to dethrone Mandy, to be honest. I know she doesn't really fit the NXT 2.0 like brand as much as Mandy does, I guess. But I still would love to see her as champ. Chris, you have another match in you?
Yeah, so I actually do have a Kaylie Ray match.
The same train.
Kaylie Ray versus Becky Lynch.
Tell me why I literally thought about putting her in this match. I was like, Dakota Kai, Kaylie Ray, maybe Becky Lynch. No, Charlotte. Literally, we have the same brain. I don't know how that happened, but
big brain.
Or you could even put Piper Niven in here just to do it, just to be like, why not? Because apparently her new name is going to be Piper Niven again. Hopefully by the time this comes out, she is back to Piper Niven and no longer a Dewdrop. Because what
they never changed it.
What is a Dewdrop? Carissa, I need the answer. What is a Dewdrop?
That is a question I don't know how to answer.
I don't think anybody knows what a Dewdrop even is. But for my next match, I did want to include Mustache Mountain. I got a piece of Mustache Mountain in this match. And Tyler Bate facing off against Adam Cole, baby. Just because, like I said before on the show multiple times, why not? Adam Cole can go and Tyler Bate can go. And they were both, like, Cole was the head of NXT and Bate was like the head of NXT UK. Let the 2 stars of the brands just face each other. You can do it in the name of brand supremacy if you want. I don't care. Just make the match happen. Brand supremacy isn't real, but
and we see where that gets us.
Yep. Carissa, do you have another match?
Yeah. So
I'm sorry. I want to apologize in advance for me not having the main event video clip. Next time I will have Mark Henry be here and say it's time for the main event. But that's for next time. I'm gonna get on that. Sorry.
So for this one, Pretty Deadly versus The New Day.
Oh.
I know Xavier Woods did an interview, I think during Survivor Series time. He said that he wanted to face Pretty Deadly, like in a tag team match. He called out a few NXT UK tag teams, and Pretty Deadly was one of them. and they're former NXT UK Tag Team Champions. So, I mean, you could just bring them to the US and have them do a dream match of some sort. I mean, I don't mind it.
Wouldn't you have to put Big E in that match because Kofi hasn't been in NXT, right? Ever? Unless we're counting NXT the game show, he was a mentor. And we can use that as a loophole.
I was also thinking of like 20 more matches in my head.
If we're doing the NXT game show version, AJ and Caitlyn were on that show. Put them up against the 4 horsewomen. Put Cora Jade in the match. Put Io Shirai in the match. And I just booked an hour-long Iron Woman match. I don't know how many people were in that match. Probably, 8? I don't care. Book it. I miss Caitlyn. Sorry, I have to say it.
Honestly, don't even need any other matches. Just book it.
Match. No, put that match in the Mae Young Classic. I don't know how you put a match like that in the Mae Young Classic. Maybe make a bracket with all 8 of them so we can get mixed matches of the matches. I don't figure it out, WWE. Actually, no, don't you touch AJ. Leave AJ alone. I apologize for that. Nope, I'm gonna eat my words. I'm gonna shut up. Okay, I have my main event next. Which is actually probably not a typical main event, but all the people in here should be main eventers, and that's how I wanted to look at it. I have Malachi Black, or at this point, Aleister Black, versus Andrade, Cien Almas at this point also, versus Antonio Cesaro. Just because I love the matches that Andrade has, I love the matches Cesaro has, and I love the matches Malachi Black has. So put them all in the match together and I'll love the match. And I think you can just build it as all of them are criminally underrated. They can all go and they want to prove who the best of the best is. And you can make it for a NXT title shot or whatever. Like you can make it like a contenders match. That's what a contenders match should be, is the number 1, 2, or 3 contenders in a match. You don't need to pin your champion. I don't want to get into SmackDown, but what was the Toni Storm match? I quit. I don't know. What else?
There are no words.
Right. We got to move on from that Toni Storm stuff. I'll get upset for the rest of the day. Carissa, what do you got?
So my main event, actually, Seth Rollins versus Adam Cole.
I literally thought of that match too. Carissa, I swear we have the same brains today for the show. Oh my God.
Truthfully, the NXT crowd would appreciate it way more than their main roster match. The crowd was dead.
It was. And like, here's my take on this, because they're both former NXT champions. Also, they're former Ring of Honor world champions. Mm-hmm. So they have that history there. I don't think in Ring of Honor they've ever like crossed paths, because I think around the time Seth Rollins was leaving Ring of Honor,
that's what I was
joining Ring of Honor.
Yeah, they missed each other basically. Yep. I love Seth Rollins. Sethy boy. I don't know how you do the great things you do, but thank you, Mr. Seth.
Listen. Seth Rollins runs a wrestling school. He has a coffee shop. He has Dead Boys Fitness. He has
a daughter who they take on the road. Crazy.
He's married. He's like doing all these things. I'm like, how does
he still manage to put on banger matches?
Like not just banger matches. His backstage segments are like
yes.
Also, did you guys know his stylist is Becky Lynch's stylist, right? Okay, because people didn't understand that on Twitter, and I guess I shocked some people. I was like, how is that not common knowledge? And then somebody said that Becky has been in Seth's closet. No, they have the same stylist. It was Becky's stylist first. Actually, get it right. Okay. I've went on a lot of tangents this episode. I'm going to try to do some tangent controlling on the next episode to the show. But thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of Fantasy Booking Friday, which is dropping on not a live episode day. I don't know what day the 5th is. Let me check my calendar. I'm going to tell you to have a great day on this day, but I don't know what day it is. Let me see. Give me 1 second. I'm checking my calendar. Have a great Wednesday, okay? Today, I will be finding out if I got into George Washington University in the future. We'll see if that even matters. It might not matter if I get into Emory. You guys probably know by the time that this comes out. But Haley, where can they find you? All the great stuff you're doing, all your writing stuff, what you got going
on? You can find me on Twitter. The L in my name is actually a capital I because the L was taken. But you can also find me over at Nerds and Beyond. I'm the lead wrestling writer over there, so I do.
You heard her, lead. Okay.
So yeah, that's where you can find me.
Okay, so make sure you guys give her a follow. Carisa, what you like to plug today?
So just the usual. Go follow my Twitter at CarisaL517. My handle's like right here. I post K-pop, wrestling, anime, all that good stuff. Go follow my Instagram at Carisa._. I think by this time I will be close to 2,000, so that's my goal for January 1st. And I think by this time I think my Patreon might start. So go check out patreon.com/Carisa517. You guys can join as little as $5. I'll be doing a lot of reaction stuff, a lot of other watch alongs and all that good stuff. So go check that out.
Okay, and you guys can check me out on the Twitters at Jaychele Nicole right here on the overlay as always. You can check out bodyslam.net. I do lots of writing, editorials. Hopefully, fingers crossed by now, my secret article I've been working on about the stars of AEW Dark and Dark Elevation is up. So make sure to go support your favorite independent talent by reading that article and sharing that and all that good stuff. Also follow bodyslam.net at bodyslamnet on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Hopefully I got the TikTok up and running by now. Fingers crossed. Please let me slack on that. And please don't tweet me about the ass boys. If you do follow me on Twitter, I hate the ass boys. I'm so serious. If you tweet me about the ass boys, I'm going to have to block you. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video. We really, really hope you enjoyed it. And we hope you make your Wednesday a fantasy. Normally it's the Friday, but enjoy this Wednesday episode. And anybody got any last words?
Well, I just want to say thank you guys for having me. I love the show, and I'm honored to be here, truly. I love the both of you, and I love supporting you guys. I think you guys do great work, and I think that you guys are definitely the future of wrestling media. So
Haley is the best. If you don't follow her right now. A lot of her stuff is probably going to be retweeting my stuff, but love it. But yeah, thank you so much. You've been an amazing guest. And Carisa, you got anything to say?
No, I just want to wish everybody happy holidays. It's a new year. We start fresh. It's a new chapter in our lives. I just hope the best for everybody all across the world, not just wrestling, but other people especially.
Period. Yep. Make sure you set some goals. We hope you achieve them also. Set some steps so you can get there. And yeah, we hope you guys have a great 2022. Thank you so much for checking out this episode. And once again, like we said, we hope you make your Wednesday and Friday now, I guess,